In January 1943, in the height of World War II, a man died alone in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel. He was 86 years old, gaunt, and possessed almost no material wealth. Within hours, agents from the Office of Alien Property, acting under orders from the FBI, descended upon the room. They weren't looking for money, they were looking for papers. They seized trunks filled with notebooks, technical drawings, and calculations. Among the rumors circulating was the existence of a death ray so powerful it could bring down entire fleets of aircraft from hundreds of miles away. To the world outside, he was a mad scientist who spent his final days talking to pigeons in the park. But this man was not a character from a work of fiction. He was the person who laid the foundation for the 20th century. Every time you flip a light switch, charge your phone, or look at a remote-controlled device, you are interacting with his mind. His name was Nikola Tesla, and his story is not just one of science, but of a struggle that cost him everything. According to a famous family legend, Nikola Tesla was born at the stroke of midnight during a violent lightning storm in 1856. As the story goes, the midwife was terrified, calling the storm a bad omen and declaring the child would be a son of the dark. His mother, Juka, reportedly replied, "No, he will be a child of the light." Growing up in the village of Smiljan in what is now Croatia, young Nikola was surrounded by a family of priests and warriors. His father, Milutin, was a brilliant Serbian Orthodox priest who trained his son's memory with grueling mental exercises. But it was his mother, Juka, an illiterate but ingenious woman who invented household tools, whom Tesla credited for his own inventive spirit. However, a deep tragedy would shadow his early years. When Nikola was 7, his older brother Dane, who was widely considered a genius even greater than Nikola, died in a riding accident. Tesla spent much of his life feeling he could never live up to his brother's ghost. He began to experience intense visualizations, vivid images that appeared as flashes of light, sometimes so real he couldn't distinguish them from reality. This ability became his greatest tool. He would later claim that he didn't need drawings or models. He could build entire machines in his mind, run them for weeks, and see exactly where the parts would wear out, all before ever picking up a tool. He was an engineer of the imagination. In 1884, Tesla arrived in New York City with nothing but 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of recommendation for Thomas Edison. The letter, allegedly written by Charles Batchelor, stated, "I know 2 great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Tesla was a dreamer, obsessed with an idea that everyone else called impossible: alternating current. At the time, Edison's empire was built on direct current, or DC, but DC had a fatal flaw: it couldn't be transmitted over long distances. Power plants had to be built every few blocks. Tesla tried to explain that AC could travel for hundreds of miles, but Edison, protecting his investments, dismissed it as fanciful. Tesla worked tirelessly for Edison, often putting in 20-hour days. According to Tesla, Edison promised him a $50,000 bonus if he could redesign the inefficient DC dynamos. For nearly a year, Tesla worked until he succeeded. But when he asked for his payment, Edison reportedly laughed, saying, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." Hurt and betrayed, Tesla resigned on the spot, but the world wasn't ready for him yet. For the next year, one of the greatest minds in history was forced to work as a common laborer, digging ditches for $2 a day to survive. He later described this period as a time of terrible headaches and bitter tears. Tesla's luck changed when he met George Westinghouse, a man with the resources and the courage to take on Edison. Westinghouse bought Tesla's AC patents for a significant sum, and the War of the Currents officially began. It was a brutal battle. Edison, desperate to discredit AC, began a campaign to convince the public it was a killer current. To prove his point, Edison's associates staged public electrocutions of animals using AC. They even pushed for AC to be used in the first electric chair to ensure people associated it with death. But Tesla fought back with a performance of his own. In a series of famous lectures, he passed high-frequency AC through his own body to light up vacuum tubes, showing the world that electricity was a servant, not a monster. The climax of this war came at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. Westinghouse won the contract to light the fair using Tesla's system. When the switch was flipped, the White City burst into a brilliance the world had never seen. It was the definitive proof that AC was the future. But there was a human cost. To help Westinghouse survive the immense financial pressure of the legal battles, Tesla reportedly tore up his royalty contract, giving away what would have been a fortune in the billions today. He sacrificed his personal wealth to ensure his invention reached the people. Tesla's childhood dream was about to become a reality. He had once told his uncle that he would one day place a giant wheel under Niagara Falls. In 1895, the first large-scale hydroelectric power plant at Niagara was completed using Tesla's polyphase system. It was a monumental achievement that sent power 20 miles to Buffalo. The project proved that the power of nature could be harnessed to serve humanity. Suddenly, electricity wasn't just for the wealthy in cities. It could be sent to every home and factory across the continent. Tesla became a global celebrity, his name spoken alongside those of the greatest scientists in history. Yet, even as he tamed the most powerful waterfall in North America, Tesla was already looking beyond wires. He began to wonder, if the Earth itself could act as a conductor, why did we need cables at all? He envisioned a world wireless system that would provide free information and perhaps even power to any point on the globe. In 1901, with the backing of J.P. Morgan, Tesla began construction of his most ambitious project, Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island. It was a 187-foot wooden tower topped with a massive steel dome. Tesla believed this would be the center of a new world, a place where a person could stand anywhere on Earth and receive news, music, or even a telephone call with a small pocket receiver. But the timing was catastrophic. A stock market panic in 1901 caused construction costs to skyrocket. Simultaneously, Tesla's rival Guglielmo Marconi succeeded in sending a simple Morse code signal across the Atlantic using a much cheaper, albeit pirated, version of Tesla's technology. J.P. Morgan, seeing that Marconi had achieved a result with less money, refused to provide more funds for Tesla's unlimited vision. Tesla pleaded, explaining that his system was far superior to Marconi's mere child's play, but the doors of Wall Street were closed to him. Wardenclyffe fell into ruin. Tesla suffered an emotional collapse. He had envisioned a world of free, interconnected communication, but the world wasn't ready to let go of its meters and its profit. In 1917, the tower was demolished and sold for scrap to pay off his debts. The later years of Tesla's life were a slow descent into seclusion and eccentricity. He lived in a series of New York hotels, often leaving behind unpaid bills as his financial situation crumbled. He developed an intense phobia of germs and an intense compulsion involving the number 3, which he believed held a fundamental secret to the structure of the world. He began to spend his time in the city parks, rescuing injured pigeons and nursing them back to health in his hotel room. He claimed that one particular white pigeon was his mistress, saying, "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me." Despite his struggles, his mind never stopped working. He proposed the use of radio waves to detect submarines, the basis for radar, decades before it was built. He designed a vertical takeoff aircraft that was a precursor to the modern Harrier jet. But his ideas were often labeled as impractical by a world that had moved on. For decades after his death, Tesla was nearly forgotten by mainstream history. Textbooks credited others for his discoveries. But today, we are witnessing a global Tesla renaissance. The man who was once laughed at for his vision of a wireless world is now the patron saint of the information age. The induction motor he invented is now the heart of the electric car revolution. The fundamental principles of radio he fought for in court are what allow your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to function. Even his dream of wireless power transmission is being actively researched by scientists today. He didn't care about money. He cared about the progressive development of humanity. He once said, "The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine." That future has arrived. Nikola Tesla was a man who saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. He was an immigrant who gave his adopted country its light and its pulse. He died in debt, but he left the human race a legacy that is beyond price. As we look at our glowing screens and our bright cities, perhaps we can offer a moment of gratitude to the man who was struck by a vision in a Hungarian park and never let it go. He was the wizard who tamed lightning and gave us the modern world. The child of the storm eventually found his peace, but his light still shines in every corner of our lives.